Hey guys, Hawker here, and welcome back to another analysis video, this time focusing on Astralis versus 100 Thieves on Vertigo. So last video, I jokingly introduced myself as an Astralis fanboy, and if you check out the channel, this is going to make not one, not two, not three, but 4 videos on Astralis in a row. So I guess I'll promise to do it on a different team next time. But this one was from IEM Beijing, which was a slightly awkward time zone for us Europeans, so some of you guys might not have got to see some of these rounds. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right into the round itself. Actually, before we jump into the round itself, an important piece of context is that this smoke is being used in almost all rounds by most teams to control the round, so keep that in mind. So let's start with Glaze POV as he exits CT spawn and decides to use this new position, which some people are calling a short, some people are calling scaffold. Either way, he puts a smoke down here, and then in what looks like quite a chaotic situation, he manages to peek behind these smokes and catch 2 unsuspecting 100 Thieves players off guard. So unless you look in depth into this round, this doesn't look like anything too special, right? It looks like Glaive is just creating the most out of a chaotic situation, but once you start to look at some of the other POVs, you realize Astralis had this planned from the very beginning. One of those other players is Magisk, who is holding mid as he generally does at the start of most rounds. But if we flash back to earlier in the round, we can see this smoke that he deployed through the window, which is not that same lineup you remember from earlier in the video thrown by Gratisfaction. This lineup actually ends up being the smoke which Glaive peeked behind over at the upper position of this A ramp. So again, it just goes to show Astralis are always controlling these chaotic situations. They're always the one planning for these scenarios and making sure they come out on top. Another player assisting on this A side of the map to make sure Astralis takes some favorable fights is Zipex. He ends up putting down an early incendiary to this right side, a little flash over the top, and then a follow-up flash which is absolutely perfect to blind these players and get the flash assist on both of these initial frags. And in case you were wondering where the molly goes, it ends up landing in this scaffolding position just to give Astralis that extra bit of security that no one is going to go pushing it through those smokes. The final POV worth watching from Astralis in this round is Device. Usually the star player of the team, usually one of the best fraggers on the roster, and he does try to get involved early using this aggressive position to watch towards the ramp, but he gets flashed away and kind of ends up playing a more supportive and facilitating role in this round, just using some nades to make sure Glaive stays safe, and then escorts him back to the site after Glaive has given his team the 2-man advantage. Really just goes to show the depth Astralis have on this roster, that Device doesn't have to be the star player in every round. It's great to see. And I think the final thing I want to touch on is just how smart this call is in the overall context of the game. I was mentioning earlier how almost every team is putting down that early ramp smoke and fighting for control, and you can see 100 Thieves were kind of expecting the same in this round. They were not expecting Glaive to push this position whatsoever. He was able to catch 2 players out, and that is always going to be in the back of 100 Thieves' minds for the rest of this half. They have to be aware of that possibility, and Astralis from this point on in the half don't use this same strategy again a single time, but it's always there in the back of 100 Thieves' minds that they can't just rush up the ramp in case they get wrecked like this. So yeah, overall love this from Astralis, and by the way, as if it wasn't good enough already, Glaive decides he's not happy with 2 kills, he wants to get a 3rd to close out the round and basically guarantee an Astralis round win. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I love seeing Astralis and their team play. Every single POV you watch, it feels like there's another player adding dimensions to the tactics, all working in tandem. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to stick around. I promise you I will not make my next video on Astralis. I will stick to that promise, and I will catch you next time.